Protect your privacy online with the best VPN for gaming, ExpressVPN, and visit expressvpn.com/ghilliemaster, linked in the description, to find out how you can get 3 months free. For a while now, I've had an idea that I want to play around with for a rework of the explosive cannons. Right now, the cannons with the laser and Hydra are completely unmatched in terms of the DPS amount they can output, and they're really just a cheesy way to kill people. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort because you can just spray the ground near them to get a kill. What I did is basically redesign the cannons to make them shoot projectiles, which does a really good job to negate the laser beam properties that they have now, where the cannon just annihilates everything in its path the moment you fire it. And how I did this is I first switched the weapon that the laser has. I just picked the laser for the presentation for this video, but I could apply this to any of the weaponized planes. And I replaced the original guns with the tank cannon, which probably sounds extremely weird, but basically this is just a substitution because for whatever reason, modifying the laser cannon properties to make them work how I want them to just didn't work, so I had to swap the weapon entirely. Then I went over to the files containing the tank cannon stats and did a bit more modding. I changed the model of the tank cannon shot itself to the much smaller missile that is seen on the RC tank and the oppressors. For those who don't know, this might be a little interesting fact. When the tank fires, it actually fires an RPG rocket out of its barrel, just with different properties. But if you go into the Rockstar editor with the tank, you can very clearly see that it fires RPG modeled rockets. Next, I changed the lifetime or max range of the projectiles to 0.4, which is a decrease to the range, but then when we look at the launch speed, I increased it from 0.400 to 0.450, so really the range is very similar to the regular jet cannons, just now they have a travel time to them. I also went ahead and nerfed the explosion damage of the cannons down to the rogue explosive MGs, which is also in line with the B11 cannon explosion properties. The grenade explosion damage that they have now is just way too good at that fire rate. And the final thing that I changed with the projectile itself is the trail effect. I wanted to give it something that could resemble a tracer, and the only effect that resembles that is the firework trail because it has that white glow to it that you'll see in a little bit when you go to the gameplay of it. I then gave it the original cannon sound so it doesn't sound like a tank cannon firing like a machine gun, and copied all the code from the laser weapons and applied it to the newly modified substitute with the tank name. And that also means that the tank in my game right now fires like the laser cannon, but that doesn't really matter because this is merely for conceptual purposes. And here are a few before and after comparisons of the cannons. It definitely loses some of its lethality with the changes, but it's still very good, and really what the cannons being projectiles and not hitscan does is limit the ability to spray with it. You can't just whip the jet up and down to cover an entire line on a street because now the cannons take a second to reach their target, so if you spray then it's ultimately going to be on a delay to when they actually hit the target, which adds to the skill gap of the weapons for sure. Not to mention they also have a smaller blast radius because they're operating on the rogue explosive MG properties and not the grenade. And by now you've probably noticed the white glow effect that I was talking about earlier on the new cannons. While it does look kind of silly, it does a good job at being a projectile tracer effect in my opinion, because it's easy to see where the cannons go rather than just having no tracers on them. And this is just one of the many concepts that these guns could have. There are really many things that could be done to lessen the power of the cannons. In fact, I think it would be weird to just have one cannon or one weapon have travel time and not have it like an across-the-board feature on all the planes with guns. But I just thought this was an interesting thing to work on and do. Thought it was a pretty fun concept. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments, and would you mind if the cannons were to be changed into something like this? If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more content. I want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.